Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on what side of the pond you're on, and welcome to an extra special edition of Across the Pitch. My name is Phil Kennedy. I'm joined by my co-host Tony Robinson today for a very special episode because it's been close to 3 years now since we started the show, and when we started Across the Pitch, I had a short list of guests that I really wanted to make sure that we got on the show at some point, and the guest that we have today was on that list, and we were actually lucky enough to have him on the show back in our early days. I think it was around episode 30. Now, almost 200 episodes later, we couldn't be more excited to welcome the one, the only Accrington Stanley chairman, Andy Holt. Welcome back to the show, Andy.
Thank you. What an intro. I don't know where to go after that.
I know.
Good to be back on.
He's not one shy on introductions as our Phil, but it's good to have you with us, Andy, and we're looking forward to catching up and having a chat in the next few minutes. And I appreciate you doing this.
No problem at all. Anytime. I appreciate what you do for us. So it's an absolute pleasure.
Well, we think that you run the best club in the world, and it's a pleasure for us to spread the word about it. And the thing that we're most excited is the new project, where it was kind of an idea that I came up with about 6 months ago. And then Peter Latham, who, of course, is the chairman of the Supporters Trust, kind of took a hold of the idea and run with it. And now we have the first ever Accrington Stanley trading card set in the history of the club. The cards have just come out beautifully. And I do see that you had a set. Did you get an autograph card in your pack?
I did, yeah. I did. It was John and Jimmy's autographs that I've had once or twice anyway when they've been signing contracts. But listen, what fantastic work that is by all of you, in particular Peter and the Supporters Club. They do phenomenal work for us. The trading cards are probably at the pinnacle, but they've done great work for the club, and I couldn't speak more highly of them. I hope it'll probably become a regular feature. They'll probably do it again in years to come. And I've got my set. I'm not opening it. I'm saving it for memories. But it's fantastic.
Well, I just I'm blown away when I finally got the product in the mail. I mean, just the quality of the cards, the quality of the photography, everything is just brilliant. And Peter, he really just went above and beyond to make sure that they were the best product could be. And like you said, it's something that we hope we could do in future years, and we definitely hope we could get you on a card next season.
I doubt that. I don't think you don't be spoiling them cards.
That's what I said. Somebody asked me to sign one. I said, well, I'll sign the package. You want me to sign the card.
Well, we've got to have one with Andy in the set next year, Phil. But I just wanted to ask Andy, what his thoughts were about last season. I mean, we've obviously finished 11th, and there was a lot of things going on off the pitch. What's your thoughts on the past season for on and off the pitch?
Well, I mean, if we can, the two entirely separate issues, really, but some are combined. But it's just distinct what's been going on off the pitch and what's been going on the pitch. I mean, on the pitch, I wasn't disappointed. I can never be disappointed by our club. I think we've worked wonders. We've got a great little club. We've got a great management team, and we had a fantastic squad. I thought it were our best squad ever. And but for hitting COVID at the back end of 2020, 2019, was it? When were it? Just November it was. We had COVID and we lost. We missed 6 matches, and that it left us a pile up of matches that with 30 games to play in 4 months, and with a load of injuries following that because people weren't getting time to recover. They were every other day we were playing football, and you couldn't get training in for playing. and we had a few bad ref decisions. Without which, for me, there's no doubt we would have been at least in the playoffs. No doubt at all. If we could have carried on as we were pre-COVID, I have not a shadow of a doubt that our form would have got us in that top 6. But listen, 11th is fantastic. I'm not disappointed. I'm not. I think we're doing fabulous. I think we've got the best squad we've ever got, and we're going into next season with a good start.
Well, yeah, you said 11th, and you look at some of the preseason pundits, what they were promoting, or their picks was Stanley was in the bottom 4 or close to it, and it seems like season after season they don't seem to give the club the respect, but hopefully that would change, because that 11th finish is by any way no fluke.
No, it's below where we would have finished, but for that, with 19 out with COVID, it is really hard. We would have finished miles higher. I mean, teams that were coming to play us, you saw us at the end of the season, owners of clubs that were coming to see us, and director clubs that were coming to see us, they all say that Accrington is a place they don't want to go, and that they all know to expect stiff competition.
I think the words that the Portsmouth manager gave at the end of the season when you guys played each other was, I thought, were very complimentary, what he said about Stanley.
Yeah, I don't think other managers see what we're doing at Stanley, what John and Jimmy and John do. They don't see us as a weak side, and pundits can do what they want and say what they want, but the people that know the rest of pundits. So, we get to it with a lot of respect now. I mean, when we were in League Two, when I first started, we were kind of getting through games because others, clubs were coming expecting to roll us over, and they weren't doing as much preparation. And I thought we got a few quite easy matches because people were taking us lightly. And now that doesn't happen. When we earn a point, now we earn it, and that's good.
Yeah. Now this wasn't really on the sheet we sent to you, but with those Portsmouth matches being mentioned, it does kind of bring to mind something that I had thought about. A friend of mine, Jonathan Hibbert, is a Portsmouth supporter, and he had, I would say, with about 2 weeks left in the season, he had mentioned basically that Portsmouth would need to get 6 points from Accrington in order to, make sure they got an automatic promotion. And I said, well, the one thing that you've kind of got going for you is at this point in the season, Accrington can't really get promoted or relegated, so those points don't mean a whole lot. What ended up happening, of course, Accrington came out and got 4 out of 6 points in those games that they didn't actually need to win. So, I mean, what do you think is that special ingredient that John Coleman brings where he can, get the squad to respond even if the other side has more to play for?
Well, I mean, first of all, it should have been 6 points, not 4, that we took off them because we were better than them in draw. So, but the thing that John's got is his ability to build a proper team, a team that fight for each other, and they play for pride every game. It's not the points are there and they're important, but every game they fight with all the might. And it doesn't matter if it's last game, you saw it at Portsmouth as it happened, last game as well. Doesn't matter whether it's against Charlton, it doesn't matter if it's first game against Peterborough. We build a team that work hard and play hard for each other, no matter how they play. And even when they go and play a 23s match at Burnley or Blackburn or wherever, they'll play hard and do the best to do what they can. And that's the one thing that John. Well, it's not the only thing, but it's one of the key things that John has. He can build a real siege mentality, team spirit, and it's not necessarily about money, although money helps. But it's a mentality that they have, and Cole is a winner. Jimmy's a winner, they're winners, and you can't take it away from them.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to see any matches with the COVID protocols?
Yeah, I saw all the home matches and went to a couple of away matches, but I'll be honest, we're 8 fans. You might as well watch them on telly. It's the atmosphere, it's the fans that make it for me. It's the reason for having football, and not having them there made it disappointing in a lot of instances. And it was more disappointing when we won and won well, because they were the games where after the match we'd have had a great laugh and a few pints and to meet up again and have all the fans together. But it was what it was. It was the same for every club, and I did 2 or 3 away matches, but you're going sitting in an empty room, 3 or 4 chairs in each corner, and there's just nothing there for me. It just doesn't impress me, doesn't entertain me, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of away directors that come to us. They felt exactly the same. Yeah, it's just not the same.
No, that's, you could tell even watch it on iFollow. You don't get that crowd sound and the sights of the crowd, and so even sitting in my living room watching it on iFollow, there's still a difference. So you have mentioned in the past, Andy, that with the club you kind of look at a 2-year business plan, whereas at work it's kind of a longer one. How has COVID impacted sort of the way you approach your business plan at the club?
Well, I mean, what an already risky business plan. So when I do a business plan for my core business, I can be within 5% plus or minus. In football, you can't be within 50% in normal times, and with COVID, you can't be even any. You can't even be that close. You don't know if you're going to have a cup run. You don't know if you're going to win a cup match. You don't know if you're going to sell a player. You don't know where you're going to finish in the league. You don't know how many crowds are going to come in, and now you don't even know if there's going to be a crowd at all. So the uncertainties in a football as a business are so wild. Whereas in a normal business, you control all them. So you limit your opportunity to limit your risk in business. Whereas in football, you can't do that. If you win a cup match, you might get. We played Ipswich Town in Derby County a couple of years back. We got £250,000 for that game, and had we won it, Dan Barlaser got sent off. Had we won it, we'd have got £450,000 because there were £200,000 prize money on it as well. And that was one game, and when you consider our gate income's about $1 million a year. In one game you can get, that's when there's no COVID, in one game you can get almost $500,000 in income. So it's really difficult to predict. I mean, COVID hit it hard, and off the pitch, when we were talking about off the pitch, we had to slow things down because we knew that costs were going to continue when we knew that revenue were going to stop. So we had to kind of slow everything down and, get everybody packed away through what we're looking like a tough period, and that's what we did. Now we're building the new facilities, and I still don't have a clue whether there won't be some treble Australian variant or whatever.
So what is
what you want?
What is the outlook for next season from what you've heard so far from a fan's perspective? Are you looking to have full attendance, partial attendance, city word on away fans? What's the rumblings, if you will?
Well, from my opinion is, and it is only my opinion because we're not getting anything out of the EFL or anyway. My opinion is we will get back to full crowds next season. That's my honest opinion. I think. While cases are rising a little bit in UK, deaths have subsided, and I know people that work in hospitals, and they're telling me that the cases now they're going in hospital aren't turning into serious cases in the main. So I'm really hopeful and optimistic as we get more jobs done that we can be back up and running for next season, and it'd be fabulous. We're building these new facilities. We have view to them being used. To be a shame if we get them built and there's nobody there.
Yeah. No. Also, we can see online that there's a new pitch going in. I mean, 2 years ago, the drainage system and the new pitch was installed. I take it this year it's just the surface, the pitch that's being done. Is it, Andy?
Well, it's a complete new surface, but we're doing different things. So we're strengthening pitch up in the penalty areas with fiber sand that'll give it a lot more durability, and we're putting plastic around key areas like corners and penalty spots and things like that. And Ben and Buzzer are working hard to make it the best pitch we've ever had, and I'm sure we're going to get there. They've a lot of work. They've got the work cut out because there's a training centre to start off Monday. So they're going to be busy, them guys.
Oh, that's it, and that's up at King George's, is it?
Yeah. The fencing actually starts going up Monday.
Yeah, I saw that the everything got approved. So that's will that be ready for the next for preseason for the training?
Well, we've got to get on it and drain it, and hopefully that'll start fairly soon. And given decent weather, then we should be able to get it done fairly quick if it rains for a month. Which has a tendency to do in Accrington. If it rains for a month, then it can put us back because you can't be draining it when it's soaking. So
we need some of that rain over here in the desert. I'll tell you.
Yeah. To be honest, it's been like desert over here for the last few days, but we just had a little shower, and I'm glad at my garden and obviously football pitches everywhere. I'm glad of it. Listen, we're on with it, and it's coming faster. We haven't had a training ground for 20 years, and we're getting closer. So it might be a week later or a week early, but we're going to get one.
It's just brilliant everything that you have going in over there, and like you said, I think the one thing that we've noticed over the years is how you've focused on infrastructure, and there's been so many clubs over there that have maybe mortgaged the stadium to bring in one player or something like that, and your message has always been the opposite. No, invest in your infrastructure, invest in what you can keep, and that's your biggest asset that you build on is those grounds and your building.
Well, training ground. The academy that doesn't get a mention. It's run by Duncan Fernhead. It's coming on tremendously well. We've sold 2 or 3 players out of the academy. For not massive sums, but not insubstantial. 20s and 30s and 40s and £50,000. A player, and we're attracting better players now. We've got better facilities, and we're getting new coaches in there, and it's building really well. The academy has to be a source of top players going forward, and it has. We have had some good players in the past, but I expect a lot more going forward. We're investing in it, but the facility, the rule. What you've got to do is get, to my mind, and how I run the club, is get the facilities generated as much cash as they can, and then apply that cash as best as you can to put a team on that pitch. So if you spend more than you're generating, that you're doomed in the long run. So you really got to get that engine running as sweetly as you can to maintain a good first team and a good setup, and that's what we're trying to do.
Well, it's a brilliant plan, and you did a walkthrough last Saturday, and can you provide an update on the construction of the lounge, the hospitality offices? Also, you mentioned that the lounges will be available for community use. What will happen to the present store and offices at the corner of the car park? These were some of the questions that we have.
Well, they're going to stay there for now, and they're going to still be in there as offices and whatever till we get the other site finished, which will probably be February next year, February, March, maybe, depending on the internal fit out. Every bit of space in that stand will be available for hire and for use by the community as often and as much as we can. We're going to be doing Christmas parties in there, Mother's Day, and people who want to get married and all that sort of stuff, and it'd be really good quality. There'll be a chairman's lounge if anybody wants to rent that. They can rent it, and I'll go and stand in on Clayton End with the rest of the lads. So everything. I've even told John Coleman his office is for rent if anybody wants it on match day, and he can go and Clayton End with me. So we're all on the same page, and it'll come on. It's going to be really good quality when we build something. People have seen what's been done there all together, and I'm not blowing our trumpet, but I'm trying to build it in a fashion and in a way that will outlive me and see us through.
Well, What you're doing, it sounds like, it is exactly what we talk about so often. Is here over in the States, most often a sports team is just that. They're just a sports team. But in a place like Accrington, the football club becomes part of the community. And when you start talking about things like weddings and things like that, that's really merging the football team and the community together.
It is, and the good facilities, and all rooms will have a great view of the pitch. It's a single story, and it's all everything's got eye line onto the pitch, and the facilities will be first class. And I think it'll help us build a crowd as well. I think people are going to come and they're going to buy into what we're trying to do. We've already been building crowd up to now. We were doing really well pre-COVID, and I think we can build it. Carry on building it. We need to get started again rebuilding because we will have, a few will have give up with football. A few of them, might have not feel comfortable to come out because of COVID, and we're going to have to rebuild it from bottom. But these facilities it's going to be, we want it to be a great match day for everybody, and everybody that comes from wherever they come from. It's going to be affordable. It's going to be great quality. I'm excited.
That's something where you've won some awards for the best match day experience for away fans, and I know that's something that you've always prided yourself on. I mean, on the field, of course, you want to kick the other team's butt, but you also want to show their fans a good time and have them want to come back because they're a quitter just as good as anybody else's.
Well, all fans are the same. So every fan, whether it be an Accrington fan or a Barnsley fan, for example, or a home and away fan. So I try not to differentiate them because we're one or the other, depending on which ground we're playing at. And I'd like them to treat our fans right and give them the best seats in the house they can spare. And I'd like to do the same for fans that come to our place. So we need to treat them well. They're a big feature of our business model. They come and they spend the money and help us grow the club and get more into our first team budget. And when we go there, I want them to do the same. And we should treat fans well. They're people that are coming to our place and they're spending the money and they should be looked after. So I firmly believe that it's not to do with business. It's just about common sense. If you came to my house, I'd make you a cup of coffee, and that's how it is.
Yeah, it's just being neighborly, sociable. That's the way I remember. Somebody popping in your house and they put the kettle on. And I remember when my friend came over, when I was over for a visit. My friend from Canada came to visit me, and he was in my brother's house, and my sister-in-law said to him, "Do you want a brew?" And he said, "Oh yeah, I'll have a brew." And then she brought him a cup of tea, and he thought he thought he was going to get a beer. But my point is that no matter who you are, that's just the way you treat people. The one thing I wanted
to be a brew, it's the same. It's good. It's hospitality.
Yeah. Did we? I don't know if we covered this, but did you mention? Is the changing rooms? Are they in the new facilities? Are they in that setup?
They're not going to be. We're going to redo the existing changing rooms.
Okay.
And the reason we've done that is to give us more facilities in the main stand, because if this COVID goes on for years, we might be a lot more spaced out, and the revenue capacity of the stand goes down if we have to space out massively inside. So it doesn't work as a business model if you can only get half of the people in. So we've had to make it so that we can generate enough revenue out of it to make it sustainable and make it grow. So we'll be building the changing rooms back where they are. We're flattening that and rebuilding them. So we'll put some temporary changing rooms in and rebuild them. I think it's a better plan as it happens, but COVID's impacting everything.
Well, it really it sounds like to me. I mean, and that's just the way that you run the team and run everything that you do. Is that there's always a plan. Everything that's done is done for a reason, and that's the reason that the things have been so successful. And now so far we've talked about a lot of great things happening on and off the pitch. But we do have one segment on the show that we didn't have when you came on with us about a year and a half ago. It was actually Tony's invention and has now become the most popular segment on the show. So I'm just going to turn it over to Tony Robinson for the now world famous Rapid Fire.
Thank you, Phil, for that. I got to say, your introduction is dropping a bit. Usually you build it up a bit more. I was surprised that it was. I think you spend all your effort on introducing Andy at the beginning of the program. Just some fun stuff, Andy, that we try and ask people, and so we'll throw them out and see what you think. The old first one out is mushy or garden peas.
Mushy.
The red or brown sauce on your bacon sandwich.
Brown. 100% brown.
Gravy on your chips, yes or no?
Yes.
Black pudding with your full English, yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
When you have your photo taken for your trading card, will you have your flat cap on, yes or no?
Yes.
Who's got the best sense of humor, John, Jimmy, or you?
Depends how much beer I've had, but probably. I mean, we all have a good laugh, to be honest. Jimmy can be a bit more serious than me and John.
Okay, so it's a tie between you and John then. We'll give you the edge when you've had a couple of pints.
We had a couple of pints, it's John.
Do you have a hobby outside of football and work?
No, I haven't got time for it. Football and work. So just all my time.
And we'll put down enjoying a good drink as maybe a hobby then.
Yeah, that's a fair one.
Yeah. Favorite takeaway?
Pie chips and gravy. Potato pie.
We had a question about that this week.
My favorite is meat, potato pie, chips, peas, and gravy. That's one of the first meals I have when I come back. Oh, Phil, you can't beat it, Phil.
Steak pudding.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Those mushy peas.
Oh yeah. You don't. When you go to a chippy, you don't ask for garden peas. I don't think they would stock them in a chippy.
I don't know what they were.
No. Happy this at your winner's hour. Would you drink Aki ale or lager?
Aki ale.
Yeah, that Boland's a good pint. I'll tell you, can't beat that Boland. Favorite chocolate bar?
Sorry, favorite chocolate bar?
Yeah,
it's a Lindt dark chocolate, 85% dark chocolate.
Yeah, don't think we get them over in North America, Phil.
I'm still trying to get the Uncle Joe's mint balls.
Well, yes. Well, I don't. Yes. So who doesn't like to suck on a pair of Uncle Joe's mint balls, right, Phil?
Hey, you said it, Joe.
No comment.
Is there a film that you've watched more than 5 times, Andy? Like, is there a favorite film that you like to watch over and over?
I mean, I don't watch many films over and over, but I can't just remember the name of it now. It'll come to me. The one with Sean Connery and Kevin Costner in about prohibition.
Untouchables.
Untouchables. That's the one. That's the one I've watched about half a dozen times. I really like that film.
Yeah, that was a good one in their prime. I like that one. And the last one is that wanted to see or ask if you were allowed to have dinner with 2 people, living or dead, who would you like to sit down and break bread with?
Yeah, there's one. The one's easier. That'd be my dad. He died 40 years ago, and I'd love to have dinner with him. I'd love to him still to be alive, but I often wonder whether my life would have took a completely different path had he been alive. You know, I'd have stayed on at school and not left and started work. But that'd definitely been my first one, and first by a mile. Second one, well, you know, if there were a second one, I'd like to have it with these guys: John Henry Glazer, Jake Mansour, Abramovich, Kroenke, and Joe Lewis, and just sit down and ask them, you know, what is it about hockey that they don't get? You know, why can't they understand that we're an important part of pyramid as they are? So that'd probably be the two meals I'd have, and the first one would be good, the second one would be tasty.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, it'd be interesting, and I know what you mean. I lost my dad 36 years ago, and it's one of the things that you'd like to just sit down and sort of bring him up to date, what's been going on in your life, and so many questions I have that I never got a chance to ask. So I'm with you on that one. That's good answers. Thanks, Andy, for that.
No problem.
And I did, just to lighten the mood at the end of the rapid fire here, I did have one kind of funny rapid fire question that I came up with for you. It was more of a business idea, and I was inspired by the program you have where you recycle plastic out of the ocean to manufacture some of your products. And I thought with your company being Wham, that you could have a special edition where you manufacture a Wham box out of recycled Wham music CDs.
If there's that many of them, well, I won't be able to find enough now. When we're popular. So I have a great one out, Richard. But yeah. Listen, they'd be indestructible anyhow, like the rest of them.
That's exactly how I thought it would go, Phil. That was a great question.